Matthew, welcome to the Stickman Knowledge series. Thank you for making time. We try to do this. We try to do this face to face, but this is the closest we can come. But next time you come to Sydney, we'll definitely organize one more face to face. It was lovely to meet you last time too when you were in Sydney. So thank you for making it. So the purpose of this is to share knowledge, right, with our audience about different businesses, different execs, different people with different skill sets and background. And your background is unique since we spoke last time. I thought that will be great for our audience to hear what you do for Agilyx and how it makes a difference. And then we'll also touch upon, the cybersecurity elements of Agilyx and how that is important for you and your businesses and your customers and how we've been helping you. So without further ado, I will hand over the mic to you to do a quick introduction about yourself and your role at Agilyx and a little bit about Agilyx itself, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
So I'm Matthew Pritchard. I'm the Vice President of Asia Pacific and Global Operations for Agilyx Group. So we're a multinational IT services and hosting company, and we sell, implement, maintain, host, and support enterprise resource planning systems or ERP, along with HR and payroll systems. We also do some customization and development internally, and soon we'll be launching a new app on the Salesforce App Exchange, which I'll leave it to the marketing department to share details about. So I've been with Agilyx nearly 8 years, and I was also part of the team that helped our international expansion into North America, Southeast Asia, Europe, and along with South Africa. And I'm also one of our company directors for here in New Zealand. And so my role covers a lot of our, I guess you could call back office things such as finance, corporate affairs, regulatory compliance, risk management, and so forth.
Wonderful, wonderful. So which countries does Agilyx currently operate in?
Gosh, our CEO actually asked me for the list this morning to make sure he had the latest list. So we either have offices, staff, or customers in Australia, New Zealand, the Cook Islands, Singapore, Malaysia, the Philippines, India, the United Kingdom, Ireland, Canada, the United States, South Africa, and we've actually just established a new company in Germany to bring our services and offerings to continental Europe.
Wonderful. That's so exciting. Well done.
Oh, it is. We've been in a period of rapid growth since 2017 when we first left Trans-Tasman or Australia and New Zealand and went into North America.
Wonderful. So is it mainly acquisitions or organic growth? Like you go into a country, you set up the business there, and then you start from scratch, or how is it?
Yeah, so in some of the countries, it is an acquisition where a company then joins the Agilyx group. In some countries, it's sort of like a joint venture where we'll go in with a local expert who knows the local market and has customers, and they partner with us to get access to our global reach and scope. And in some countries, it is organic growth straight from Australia into those new regions.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And so what? Also with the advent of remote working and also the global tech talent shortage, we've been hiring staff in many different countries where we actually don't have an office, which also expands our offering and also the time zones that we can offer support to customers in as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. What a great story. Thank you for sharing. So would you like to share a little bit about what kind of solutions? So obviously ERP, but if you're allowed to share, what are those solutions? And also I hear that you're doing a lot of integration with other tools such as HR and payroll and people management. So can you throw some light around that, please?
So I had a joke with one of the team recently, and I said, well, our development team could integrate anything. They could probably make the fridge talk to the microwave. And actually, there is a YouTube video floating around where one of our former developers actually did integrate an ERP system with a coffee machine. So when you completed the workflow, it would actually make you coffee. So that was awesome seeing that. So our main ERP solutions that we offer is the Unit 4 ERP system. So we actually have some banks, national governments, very large enterprises that use the system. And it can do everything from your general ledger to electronic invoicing to reporting, and it integrates fantastically we can make it integrate with anything. And we also host that on an Azure data center in the Australian Eastern region to be able to provide a true SaaS offering for a number of our customers. So our customers certainly love it, being able to take, the server administration and maintenance and a lot of the security aspects and manage that for them as a managed solution. Our other flagship ERP system is Financial Force, which is obviously on the Salesforce.com platform. So that's something that we started doing, I think actually back in about 2017. So we've got customers around the world, and we've been expanding that market quite a lot in North America and also in the United Kingdom.
Got it. No, this is beautiful. This is absolutely fantastic. So tell me, Matthew, where does cybersecurity fit in your role and in the business? Let's delve into that a little bit.
A flashing red light on top of my computer screen, just constantly going, this is the most important thing we've got to do. Not quite. But it's, cybersecurity is absolutely, you can't overstate how important it is to the business. Our information security statement actually says that, we operate at the intersection of commerce and technology, and our customers must be able to have 100% confidence in the solutions that we offer them. So that's where we've partnered with Stickman Cyber for many years now, as part of our journey going into ISO 27001, and also as we actually move beyond just getting the certification, but actually making sure that we've got best practice right throughout the business, right from our cloud engineering team, right even through to corporate finance. So it's absolutely important because, it's not just our customers, but it's also our own staff and the personal information and data that we hold on them, along with people who engage with us, such as, what our global marketing team picks up, right through, of course, to our shareholders and regulatory entities that want to make sure that we're doing the right thing.
Wonderful. So in terms of cyber, there's a lot of talk in the market in terms of customers asking you, different kind of information, right? So what's been your experience in, obviously you're ISO 27001 certified, right? We'll talk about that journey in a second. I think our audience, there are a lot of people who want to know what the journey looks like, right? But before we touch upon that, we have seen a significant increase in companies, larger companies who engage service providers like yourself and us, asking us to complete questionnaires before an engagement is even come to any ink on paper, right? So have you seen an increase in this security questionnaires?
Absolutely. So I've seen a real increased, I guess you could call it maturity from customers and potential customers from when I joined, back in 2015. You could say we're ISO 27001, and that basically answered their 6 foot long questionnaires. Now it's, well, if you want to talk to us, you've got to be ISO 27001 certified, and then you hand over the certificate, and then they go, great. Now we're allowed to just talk with you. Here's our giant questionnaire. And I don't think that is a surprise. I don't think that's surprising. Although I must admit, when we started getting these, I was a bit frustrated going, we've done ISO 27001. Why do we need to do this? But I think ISO 27001 is now just green fees. That's just your entry ticket to get in the door to talk to people. And I'm not surprised. I mean, you go through these questionnaires and you can tell that people are very concerned around data protection. And also, I mean, we don't handle credit cards, so we don't need to go through that process. But especially with the European Union's GDPR, and now there's UK GDPR because of Brexit, along with the Australian Privacy Act also being strengthened, and even closer to home for me here in New Zealand with the New Zealand Privacy Act. Organisations are absolutely obsessive, and rightly so, about ensuring that the data that they trust us with is going to be kept secure, and they want to know not just your word that you'll keep it secure, but they want proof of how you'll keep that secure.
Perfect. Perfect. So when we started with your business, I recollect you were already ISO 27001 certified, but you ran most of it in-house, right?
We did, yeah.
And there are some portions which you outsourced, right? So were you part of the journey when the company became ISO 27001 on that process?
Yes,
or?
yes. I worked with our very first information security manager, who was, our first full-time one, to help work on that project and bring it into New Zealand, back when we were just in Australia and New Zealand. So yes, I was right there from the start of the journey. I'm on the Information Security Steering Committee, which is our governance level board for information security.
So how was that initial journey, to get to ISO 27001, and how long did that take?
Off the top of my head, I think we did it in under 12 months. I'll need to check records on that one. But what was fantastic was that everyone from the CEO right to every single staff member understood that it was important. So I think there are possibly other organizations where you've got to sell it to your people. What was great that at Agilyx, everyone just instantly got that this is what we need to do. So people were interested and engaged with the process. It's not actually too hard to make sure that everyone's done their information security training, which is always something that needs chasing up. But people believed in it and why we were doing it. So I know that the IT department, there was a very much a rapid maturation of our technical controls and security, for example, standard operating environments and locking down laptops. And that had some frustrations. But what was great was that the IT team worked very hard to resolve the issues that users were having with lockdown laptops, to talk about a particular example. And that's how we, IT actually launched a number of innovations, such as the company portal provided by Microsoft Intune for people to self-install apps that have been approved by IT. So there has actually been a lot of positive spin-offs from going through the process to improve our business efficiency.
Perfect. So I remember we were initially helping you with penetration testing services, and then we moved into Security Operations Center, the whole 24/7 surveillance, and then finally moved to a complete outsourced cybersecurity as a service. So tell us a little bit about that journey, how that transformation occurred, what were the triggers for you to, take it from hybrid to a complete outsourced model?
Sure. So I can't talk too much about the journey into the Security Operations Center, but I have to say they are definitely a 24/7 team. I've had the phone call from them at 4 a.m. as they've gone down the escalation paths. So, and that was 4 a.m. New Zealand, so 2 a.m. Australian Eastern time, with a call saying that there was something going on. Fortunately, it turned out to be a false positive, but so I know that they're there diligently monitoring everything all the time. I was part of the discussion on when our last internal information security manager left, and were we going to replace that and go out to the market and hire someone, or whether we're going to take Stickman Cyber's offering. And I was certainly very happy that we did partner with Stickman Cyber on that one and outsource it to experts who I've actually had, they work so well with our team and are really integrated into our business that I actually had someone ask, are they employees? Because they just work so well with our team and talk to us on our systems and channels and platforms that I don't think most people in the company would actually realize that they are outsourced. So, I mean, that's a glowing endorsement of the work they do.
We get a lot of that from other clients too. Like they get
fantastic.
6 months later into an engagement, people like, oh, we didn't know you were not part of the actual, like a full-time employee, but from Stickman, like, yeah, that's a good, very good testament. Thank you.
We should have had them come to the, it's a bit of a miss, but we should have had them come to the Sydney Christmas party. That's probably when people might realize, but there are a number of reasons why we outsourced those roles, and I struggle even actually to say outsource because of how well it's gone. The one is, I mean, it is to get top talent, which of course that's what you want with information security. It's very, very expensive. The global tech talent shortage certainly drove up salaries in the IT sector overall. So the other part of why it's been so good is because you're getting people who live, breathe, and operate in that world. They see trends across different organizations, different sectors. And so we can actually get that, well, what's the best in the market? What are they doing? And we can get those best practice learnings applied to our organization. And I hope we're sharing some, but yeah, but having people that are can, network with other information security people who aren't, just sort of stuck in house, not getting exposed to to other people in the industry. I think getting that collective knowledge is really important, and I think I know it's added incredible value to our information security system.
Sure. So I know that we have gone through 2 sets of audits with your company, and we've been with you for 5 years, and I think in that 5 years, probably more than 5 now, but last 2 years has been this complete outsource model where we are playing the role of the internal chief security officer for your business, or information security officer for your business, and also working with a third party outsourced auditor who's doing the audit. So could you share a little bit of that journey of how that audit experience has been,
Well,
any improvement? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you this. It's we have our routine surveillance audit next week. And as you can see, I am looking pretty calm, and I've got time to do a video interview with you. That's how well it's gone now.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
When we were first doing these surveillance audits, 6 weeks, 8 weeks out from the audit, I would have been full-time reviewing the internal audit findings, going through a number of remediation activities, or checking on things, or hammering out training, or getting a stack of documentation done. And that's, I think a lot of organizations would probably have that at the start of a certification system. But now, we're working with Stickman, our information security culture, systems, processes, attitudes has matured to such a level that, I've got the audit next week and I'm totally fine on how that's going to go. So it is a case of having that institutional knowledge, and you go through your internal audits and your external audits, and you build up that organizational knowledge on how to go through those things. But again, it's been fantastic with Stickman.
So for companies who are starting their journey, right? How big is Agilyx now in terms of headcount? Rough numbers,
So we've got about 120 staff operating in 13 different countries.
Correct. So we get a lot of requests from companies who are either startup, scale up, or mature businesses like you who haven't done this before, right? As a conclusion to this whole journey and your experience, could you share, I call it nuggets of wisdom, right? After having, broken some bones and, had some sleepless nights and stuff.
Yes, I was up quite late in some of those first audits. Yes.
Sure. So could you share, as an industry expert of working in that environment to get a business to fully ready and certified, what would be your giveaway to someone looking at starting their journey in ISO and everything cyber, not just ISO, but everything cyber? Yeah,
everything cyber. Start from day one. So right from day one, silly things like make sure you've got passwords on your phones and laptops, like absolute basic stuff. You want information security, cybersecurity to be built into your organization from day one. It is a lot easier to grow your company. It's a lot easier to do it at the start, and then as the company grows, you've already got that culture in every single employee contractor relationship. And as you grow, as opposed to going through the rapid growth and then having to implement change. It's a lot harder when you're a lot bigger. So definitely want to do that as early as possible. And I like to say we were doing ISO 27001 before it was fashionable to do so. So that's
kind of a luxury in those days to do ISO, but now it's like a necessity.
Yeah, I mean, we've invested over $1 million over the time in cybersecurity, and not just ISO related activities. So I'm really proud that we've done that. The other one I would say is don't do it alone. You definitely want to partner with an organization that's done it before, such as absolutely I'd recommend Stickman. So you definitely do want to partner with someone to guide you through it. They know what the different auditors are like, they know what they're going to be looking for, but it's not just, teach to the test of getting your certification. It's they can spot with their experience, they can spot, gaps or holes or something in other areas of your business that you might not have been thought of or might not come up during an ISO audit. So if you're going to, if you're doing cybersecurity programs, you do it because they're good to do and very important to do, not just to get the ISO certificate.
Got it.
The other thing I would also say is some organizations will scope out areas of their business from compliance programs, or they might say customers are only interested in our cloud hosting, not anything else. I say you want to be all in. You want everyone in your organization to be part of the program. So I would recommend against trying to limit the scope of your systems.
And that's a very important, very powerful point, because it's like, I'll work out only my right arm and not my left arm. It's literally that, right? I'll keep my right arm strong, but I'll leave my left arm to be vulnerable, right? So businesses are integrated today. Everything is moving to the cloud, some are hybrid. And I've seen this happen with many businesses saying, we'll do ISO compliance only for that part of that floor of that building in that room. And I'm like, you're doing a disservice to the business. Yeah, there could be a real reasoning behind it. I get that. Especially very large businesses find it difficult, and that there could be a reason to quarantine the rest of the business, which has got nothing to do with that part of the business. And it has to be a true business unit in its own right to have that justification. But if it's a small to medium enterprise, under 500 or 1,000 headcount people doing the same service across the business, there's no point quarantining things, right? It's better to do it across the board.
I mean, you might have these paper-based sort of borders where the information security program starts and ends, but people are going to be emailing each other data, on your internal systems, or using instant messaging services between, or even just holding the bit of paper and walking to the other office. So it's absolutely, you want to be all in, because you also want to be able to tell your customers and your other stakeholders, regulatory bodies, and also insurers that you're all in on cybersecurity.
Got it. No, very cool. So that's an important point. I forgot to ask you, tell me the insurance experience of cyber insurance, right? That was something we discussed, which caught my attention last time. So tell me the before and after effect.
So our cyber, I had a meeting. Agilyx requires quite high limits of professional indemnity, public liability, and also cyber insurance. And I've seen the cyber insurance product mature quite rapidly. Again, from 2015, when I took over the risk management portfolio, and we're looking at what insurers want. The level of detail that insurers require, especially if you do operate a data center, or if you're in an area where insurers are quite worried about systemic risk, such as payroll. For example, if our payroll goes down, it takes it out for multiple organizations who might all have the same insurer. So I have noticed, the insurers, those due diligence questionnaires are longer than some of the customers. They want to know absolutely every bit of data. What is quite pleasing is that they don't just take a yes/no approach to a lot of those questions. I mean, there's some absolute minimums. Do you have multi-factor authentication to your core systems? I mean, that's an absolute minimum. But there is, insurers, who do have the cyber experts on their team. They do know that you can have compensating controls or other ways to protect data. But on our most recent renewal, I actually went to Auckland and met with our senior underwriter for our insurer. And I was going through our annual presentation, going through what we're doing to monitor, manage, and reduce risk. And of course, cybersecurity was probably about 3/4 of the conversation. It's what the insurer was very, very interested about. And what was fantastic is that there was a section, and he rapid fired me. rapid fired me a number of security questions, and it was fantastic that I had all the right answers and was able to immediately provide those answers to him, and that provided him with significant confidence in our cybersecurity measures and our risk profile, that he was actually able to offer me some very, very, very good renewal terms. I wish I could tell you what they are, but I was very pleased, and they were much below market expectations for rate increases. So, and I talking with our brokers afterwards, who also help arrange this Howden Insurance, they said that meeting went fantastic, and the fact that I had all the information and data points about cybersecurity was a great relief to the underwriter.
Yeah. No, we've heard that with many of our customers who say, after the engagement, when we have put all the systems, controls, policy, procedures in place, and when they reapply for cyber insurance or the renewal, they've had much more significantly favorable terms in premiums compared to the previous year.
And I'd rather be spending money on prevention rather than
cure.
The cure at the end, the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff of insurance. I don't view insurance as it's our very last risk mitigation or risk treatment, really. From filing an insurance claim, we're not having a great time. So absolutely rather be spending money on prevention with our information security portfolio.
No, wonderful. I think I've just discovered a new skill in you. Apart from being a PhD in sense of humor, you got a PhD in negotiation skills too, looks like.
After that LinkedIn post, I had a few colleagues ask me about this PhD.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed our last meeting. As a human being, you're so much of energy, full bubbling with energy, and that's how I am. I'm just out there. I don't think about what others think about me and stuff. So it's an absolute pleasure to have met you, and also you taking time to come give us a little bit of testimony and also share about Agilyx growth and what you guys do. So Matthew, thank you so much for making time. Really appreciate really appreciate everything you've done for us and our partnership, and I wish you all the best. Thanks.
Thanks, RJ. Thanks.